fast. Come on, hold it, hold it.
On the desk of President Harry S. Truman sat a famous sign. "The buck stops here." It was a declaration of ultimate responsibility, a recognition that the hardest decisions fall to the commander-in-chief. It is fitting, then, that the 8th Nimitz-class nuclear-powered supercarrier bears his name. The USS Harry S. Truman CVN 75 is 100,000 tons of American resolve. For over 2 decades, this floating fortress has been where the buck stops on the front lines of global conflict. From the war on terror to the resurgence of great power competition, the Truman has been the decisive factor when diplomacy ends and action begins. The late 1990s and early 2000s were a time of dangerous transition. The Cold War was over,
Global
but the world had
terrorism
not become peaceful.
metastasized.
Instead, the geopolitical
The culmination
landscape
in the
fractured.
attacks of
The
September
problem
11th.
was the rise of decentralized,
Numerous,
unpredictable
complex
threats.
crises
Regional
demanding
dictatorships
immediate
threatened
response.
stability in the Middle
The
East.
world was no longer
Global
defined
terrorism
by a single
metastasized,
adversary.
culminating in the attacks of September 11th. The world was no longer defined by a single adversary, but by numerous, complex crises demanding immediate response. The United States needed the ability to project overwhelming military power rapidly anywhere on Earth, without relying on vulnerable land bases or the permission of other nations. The agitation is the consequence of hesitation. In the face of aggression or terrorism, inaction is perceived as weakness, and weakness invites chaos. If a rogue state threatens vital sea lanes, global commerce grinds to a halt. If a terrorist organization is allowed sanctuary, it grows stronger and plans more devastating attacks. If allies facing existential threats are not immediately supported, alliances crumble. Diplomacy is vital, but without the credible threat of overwhelming force, diplomacy lacks teeth. If the U.S. Navy cannot arrive on the scene quickly and sustain operations indefinitely, the initiative is surrendered to the aggressors. The cost of inaction is measured in instability, conflict, and loss of life. The solution is a platform capable of delivering sustained, decisive combat power from the sea. The solution is the USS Harry S. Truman. Commissioned in 1998, CVN 75 represents the modernized core of the Nimitz-class. Powered by 2 nuclear reactors, she has unlimited range and the ability to sprint to any crisis zone at speeds exceeding 30 knots. She is a floating city of nearly 5,000 sailors and a mobile airbase spanning 4.5 acres. The USS Harry S. Truman was built to go into harm's way and stay there, embodying the fighting spirit of her namesake, often summarized as, "Give 'em hell." Harry. The proof of the Truman's might is found in her capabilities and her distinguished combat record. The heart of the carrier is its Airwing.
Specialized
CVN
capabilities.
75 carries over 60 aircraft, a sophisticated mix of FA-18 Super Hornets for strike and air superiority, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare dominance, E-2 Hawkeyes for airborne command and control, and versatile helicopters. This combination allows the Truman to control the skies, the surface, the subsurface, and the electromagnetic spectrum. Her record speaks for itself. In 2003, the Truman was central to Operation Iraqi Freedom,
Great power
launching
competition
thousands
resurgence.
of sorties
The
during the
Truman
initial
as the
invasion,
bedrock of
in
NATO
the long
presence in
wars
the
in
Mediterranean.
Afghanistan, and the fight against ISIS. The Truman conducted multiple grueling deployments, delivering precision strikes against terrorist networks. More recently, as great power competition returned to the forefront, the Truman has been the bedrock of NATO presence in the Mediterranean, operating in
The
close
demanding
proximity
mission.
to adversarial
Provide
fleets,
continuous air support to
demonstrating
coalition forces
unwavering
on the
resolve
ground,
and
day
interoperability
and night.
with allied navies. To understand the true capacity of the USS Harry S. Truman, imagine the relentless tempo during Operation Inherent Resolve, the fight against ISIS. The carrier is on station in the Eastern Mediterranean or the Persian Gulf. The mission
Hold it
is
steady.
demanding. Provide continuous air support to coalition forces on the ground, day and night. The flight deck is a scene of organized violence. The heat is oppressive. The noise is a physical blow. The roar of engines, the crash of steam catapults. Sailors work around the clock in a precise, dangerous ballet. Ordnance handlers in red jerseys load heavy precision-guided bombs onto the wings of Super Hornets. Fuel handlers in purple rush to refuel returning jets. A pilot climbs into the cockpit, receiving real-time targeting data. The aircraft taxis to the catapult. The shooter gives the signal. In a burst of steam, the jet is hurled into the sky in under 2 seconds. Hours later, the jet returns, mission accomplished, and slams onto the deck, catching the arresting wire in a controlled crash. During one record-breaking deployment, the Truman's Airwing dropped over 1,000 tons of ordnance on ISIS targets. This relentless hammering, sustained for months, broke the back of the caliphate. This is the definition of sustained combat power.
Sustained
the
for
USS
months.
Harry S. Truman
This is the
more than
definition
just
of
a marvel of
sustained combat
engineering.
power.
She is a statement of national will. In
More
a
than
world
engineering,
where crises are
the
constant
USS Harry
and the
S. Truman
challenges
is
to
a
global
statement
order
of
are
national
profound.
will.
CVN 75 ensures that the United States can respond with
The buck
decisive
stops here.
force. The motto, "The buck stops here," is not just a historical reference.
The dedication and
It is the daily
sacrifice
reality for the captain and the crew.
of thousands of
They
sailors
bear the
who bring
burden of
this ship to
command on
life.
the front lines. Our call
demanding
to action is to recognize the
They
dedication
operate far from
and
home,
sacrifice of the
ensuring the response
thousands of
is
sailors
immediate
who
and
bring this ship
overwhelming.
to life. They operate in one of the most demanding environments on Earth, far from home, ensuring that when the call comes, the response is immediate and overwhelming. The USS Harry S. Truman remains on watch, ready to give 'em hell and guarantee that freedom and stability are defended across the globe.